Now to that incredible violence last night in Hong Kong, and caution, I will show videos some viewers may find confronting. China, a dictatorship, has taken back Hong Kong from the British and has been gradually taking away its freedoms for months. Hundreds of thousands of Hong Kong citizens have protested against this and demanded democracy. And yesterday, the latest protest and the police crackdown got very ugly. Pro-democracy activists wanted to spoil the 70th anniversary celebrations of the Communist Party's control of China. And their protest in Hong Kong turned out to be the most violent yet. Police were attacked and beaten. And when one 18-year-old protester swung a bar at a police officer, he was shot in the chest and critically injured. Today, students went on strike in protest. And this is so inflammatory, this could go anywhere. Now, I've spoken before to a very brave woman, I think, Hong Kong canto pop star Denise Ho, who is now a pro-democracy activist and was herself attacked earlier this week with red paint in independent Taiwan. Denise Ho now joins me, this time from Hong Kong. Denise, it's wonderful to talk to you again. Can you tell us how important was yesterday to the protest movement in Hong Kong?
Hello, Andrew. Nice to see you again. So yesterday was the 70th anniversary of the China regime. And so for the Hong Kong people to be on the streets still in face of all these threats and intimidation that the communist government, they have shown to Hong Kong people, we are still brave and courageous coming out onto the streets. So personally, I feel that it was a high level of empowerment to our own people, because in the recent days before the October 1st, we have been seeing escalated numbers of arrests, of threats, which have been attacks on activists. Even like myself, I have been attacked in Taiwan. And all these were tactics that the Hong Kong and the Chinese government, they were trying to use so that people won't come onto the streets yesterday. But still, we demonstrated this very clear stance that we are determined to fight for our freedom to the end.
But Denise, for the day to end as it did, with a student critically ill in hospital, having been shot and with police attacked, what do you think this will do to the movement going on? Is it going to take the wind out of the sails, or will it just inspire more people to take to the streets?
Well, obviously, as we have seen yesterday on the streets, there were not only youngsters in the front lines, but also people from all walks of life. So right now, after these almost 4 months of protests, people are very, very angry and very frustrated with the government. So yesterday, with the scenes that we have seen, the brutality that has escalated from the police side, obviously the youngsters are very, very infuriated. So personally, I am also worried that the use of live rounds is becoming a common scene right now. And it is very, very worrying for the people, because we really have no other means than to stand on the streets with our own bodies, whereas on the other side, the government, they have not responded genuinely to our requests. So basically, I think that the only way to resolve this very difficult situation is for Carrie Lam and also, of course, the Beijing government behind her to try to come up with some sort of genuine solution to the whole situation right now.
Denise Ho, obviously my sympathies are always with people protesting for democracy and for freedom. But here, the violence against the police from quite a few demonstrators, it does look very bad. And I just wonder if you can blame one officer if he panics with, police being bashed around him and shoots to save himself.
Of course, this is a very, very complicated situation that cannot be explained within minutes. But to give some context, we have come from early June, where the world has seen Hong Kong with its very peaceful and civilized protesters in 1 million, 2 million people marches where we had not seen any scenes of violence. So one has to ask why the people of Hong Kong has been pushed to this level where we feel that we need to protect ourselves from this kind of police brutality. And the fact is that the police, they have shown escalated levels of violations of their rules of conduct, where their use of the force and violence is not proportionate with how the protesters, they have reacted. Even yesterday, with the live round shot at point blank range, I feel that there are other solutions to that particular moment. And in the international treaties where there are the basic principles of how the law enforcement officers, they can use their lethal weapons, and they have to be in a emotional state to be in possession of these weapons. So if the police, they are not emotionally able to control their whole panic, then they should not be allowed to be on the streets with these weapons. And so yesterday, obviously, there are clashes from the protesters and the police. But then right now we are in a situation where Hong Kong people feel that Hong Kong is a police state right now, where the government is hiding behind the police force, and then they have full authority to do whatever they want with the people. We have seen 2,000 arrests in only the past 4 months, and then many people being beaten up, arrested, and then searched for no reason on the streets. So this is a very, very complicated situation. But I do think that the protesters, this is a very clear situation where the government, they have pushed their responsibilities aside and then tried to push the police force onto the people. And so all the root cause is on Carrie Lam and, of course, on President Xi.
Denise Ho, this time I didn't say it last time to you, but obviously I'll need to say it now. I want you to keep safe, but thank you so much indeed for your courage.
Thank you, Andrew.
And it's good to talk to you again, Denise Ho.
Thank you so much.